Hello students, we have started chapter 2. So in chapter 2, the chapter 2 is basic concepts of economics. So already we have discussed that human wants and then classification of wants and then utility. So first we have discussed that what is want, then for that we need commodity and goods. Then goods have some utility. Then we have discussed that what is the characteristics of utility. So last time we have finished where we have discussed characteristics of utility or features of utility. One more feature was there that was missed, that is utility is abstract. That means we cannot see or touch utility. That is the meaning of abstract. Now we will move to the next terms, that is total utility, marginal utility. So what we will discuss today: total utility, marginal utility, law of diminishing marginal utility, and then production, and then factor of production, and then its characteristics. So first we'll try to understand what is total utility. So utility means whenever we consume anything, the satisfaction we get, that is utility. So when we will consume some specific quantity of a commodity at a time, then the utility that we are getting, total utility, that total utility after consuming some specific quantity of commodity, that is called total utility. And what is then marginal utility? As I in the definition I told that some specific quantity, it may be any number of quantity. For example, here I have made one table that one individual is consuming total 6 units of mango. So total utility will be that after consuming all the 6 units of commodity of that mango, whatever the utility he is getting. So for example, if I am saying that when he is consuming 0 unit of mango, then total utility will be 0. And when he is consuming 1 unit of mango, then its utility is 10. Now here we are in, when I explained features of utility, then I told that utility cannot be measured. But here some economist has assumed that utility can be measured, and that can be measured in the unit utils. Whatever it is written, UTILS, utils. By using that only, that utility can be measured, it is being explained total utility and marginal utility. Though utility cannot be measured, but to understand total utility, we can explain that we are assuming that here utility can be measured, and the utility whatever we are getting from consuming any commodity, that are being given a number, specific number. If the satisfaction you can quantify, that is the number, and that number it is being taken. So from here, from one commodity it is getting 10, and then from when consumer is consuming second commodity, then total utility is coming 17. Then what will be the marginal utility then? Marginal utility, that for one it will be 10 unit only. This is marginal utility. Marginal utility means consuming extra 1 unit of commodity, how much utility I am getting. That is called marginal utility. So when I am consuming first one, then total utility and marginal utility is same. But when I am consuming second one also, then total utility I am getting 17. That means first and second combining this, it is 17. So what will be marginal utility then? Marginal utility will be 17 minus 10, that is 7. That means up to second commodity total utility is 17, and up to one commodity total utility is 10. So what utility we are getting extra from the second unit of consumption, that is we have to subtract the total utility of second from that means from total utility of second, total utility of first commodity. Similarly, if we will assume that total utility is from consuming the commodity is 21, then marginal utility of third commodity will be 21 minus 17, that is equal to 4. And same way, your fourth commodity, when it is being consumed, then it is 22, and then we are getting the marginal utility 22 minus 21, that is 1. And then fifth commodity when we are consuming, then marginal utility is 0, and sixth commodity when we are consuming, so it will be 19 minus 22, that is minus 3, and here 22 minus 22, that is 0. Now this total utility we are assuming like this, that it is increasing but at a decreasing rate, and then it is becoming constant, and then it is becoming negative. Now why we are letting this way? It is human behavior that, suppose here it is given example of mango. You are given, you like mango, and you are given to eat mango, and here it is assumed that at a time or within short interval of time, like 1 minute or second or 2 minutes, you are told to eat mangoes. That means you are consuming mangoes. If you are liking, then when you will consume the first mango, then the satisfaction you will get from consuming that mango, it will be maximum. That means first, when you will consume the first commodity, then whatever satisfaction will be maximum. That's why it is first total utility is 10 and marginal utility is 10 also. Then when you at a time you will consume second commodity, that is second mango, you will not get enough satisfaction that much what you have eaten the first one. From eating first one, what satisfaction you will get, that much satisfaction you will not get eating second one. It can be explained in this way, that you are hungry and you are sitting for having chapati. First chapati you have taken, the satisfaction when what you are getting when you are eating first chapati and second chapati, both if you will compare, then second chapati satisfaction it will be got by the second chapati, that will be less from the second one. Similarly, it will go on decreasing as you will continuously consume same commodity and same quantity, same size, same quality. Continuously you will consume same type of food at a time. Then your whatever satisfaction, you will see that it will go on decreasing. That's why marginal utility is go on decreasing. And at a certain level, when you are hungry, then your stomach will filled up and you will totally satisfied, and now that extra unit if you will more consume, then your marginal utility will be 0, and then again you will be forced to eat one more extra chapati, then it may be that it will cause vomiting, and in that case the total utility whatever you will get, that will means since you will vomit, your total utility will decrease, and in that case your marginal utility will reach to negative. So in this way we can calculate total utility and marginal utility. So if we symbolically explain this one, then it means that if we find mu nth, here n is given for any given number, like for example you can say that if we are going to find for third one, the formula is mu nth equals to tun minus tun minus 1. That means if I put over here 3, then it will be mu of third unit. That means third units means this one you are going to find. In that case, total unit of third unit will be 21. So tu3 will be 21 minus, and tun minus 1. That means 3. Here it will be 3. Then here it will be 3, and here it will be 3 minus 1. That means 2. So that will be second one. Total utility up to second case. So total utility up to second case it will be 17. Then marginal utility of third commodity will be 4. So in this way you can calculate marginal utility of any particular commodity, that what marginal utility you are getting using this formula, that is mu nth is equal to tun minus tun minus 1. So here up to here total utility, marginal utility, definition and explanation is clear. Now what is law of diminishing marginal utility then? Law of diminishing marginal utility explain that whatever I have explained till now, that if we will continuously consume a particular type of commodity at a time, specific quantity of commodity at a time, if we will go on consuming, then whatever the marginal utility you will get, that will continuously fall. This is only law of diminishing marginal utility. So here diminishing means decreases and marginal utility is this one only. But here assumption is that same type of commodity and specific quantity of commodity you are consuming at a time, then your marginal utility will go on decreasing. So that is the meaning of that why commodities means why marginal utility decreases. Now we will move to production. So what is production? Actually, whenever we need, as we have discussed human wants, for that we need goods, and then that goods are having utility. Then what is production? We need goods. So production is the process where goods and services are being produced, and it is a creation of utility also. So what is production? It is act of making goods and services and creates utility in goods. Creates utility in goods. So production means whenever we are producing any goods and services, that means we are creating utility, which the utility that will satisfy human wants. Now what does it mean? It means that utility can be created or added in four ways. First one is form utility, second is place utility, and third one is time utility, and fourth one is service utility. Now what is the meaning of form utility? Suppose a wooden log, we don't have any use of that wooden log as such in the form of wooden log, but if it will be transformed into a table or a chair or a bed, then it will serve us or it will create a utility, and it will satisfy our wants of sitting, if it is a table, if it is a bed, then for sleeping. So this kind of utility, that is when the wooden log is conformed into a chair or in a furniture, then it creates form utility. So in this way we can, by changing the form of a commodity or good, we can create utility, and that is called production. Next is place utility. Now what is the meaning of place utility? Suppose any commodity is being produced in any factory, and when it is transferred or transported from that factory to the retail store, then for selling, then this transportation of the good from one place to another place is also creating a utility, that it is being now ready to sell to the consumer. So it will create a place utility, and this transportation is also called production. So in this way, by creating place utility, that means you are creating an utility from one place to transforming goods from one place to another place, and that is called place utility. Then next is time utility. Now by meaning of time, what is the meaning of time utility here? That if any goods is being produced at present and it is being stored to sell in the future time, then at that time what is being produced and being sold in the other time. So by selling the goods in different time, by storing now and selling in the future, it is creating a utility, and that is called time utility, and it will also be called production. Then fourth one is service utility. By service utility we mean that creation of service, that a student can become a doctor, and then when he will provide service, then a teacher is providing teaching, that is a service utility. So in this way service utility can be formed, and that is also called production by creating service utility. Now to produce any goods we need some resources, that is called factors of production. So next topic is factors of production. That means the resources, the productive resources, the resources which will be used in production are called factors of production. Now what are that factors are production also called inputs, and production is called output also. Now what are that factors of production? Mainly there are 4 types of factors of production, that is land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. So to produce any good or any commodity we need all these 4 type of factors. Now what is land? Land means any free gift of nature. So when you will define land, that is any free gift of nature, which is provided, that means no production cost. That land has no production cost. Example mineral resources, example forest reserves, or but which is under human control. That means earlier sunshine, air, water resources, or rain, it was also considered as land, because these are also, because somewhere in cultivation land rain is used, rainwater is used. But if it nowadays there is a controversy between this thought that whether sunshine and rain it will be considered as factors of production or not. Some economics differ also under this. So the resources which are under human control, means which supply can be controlled by human, that will be considered as land. Then next is main land characteristics. Many other characteristics are there. Land is fixed, then land is total supply is fixed, land is immobile, then land is passive factor of production. That means somebody need to produce or need to use in production land. So these are main basic characteristics of land. And then labor, next factor of production is labor, that is needed to produce goods. Labor, that means to earn money, whatever if any person is doing any work, then that will be considered as labor. Now what are the characteristics of labor? Then labor is mobile, that means from one place to another place labor can be moved. Now here 2 terms are there, laborer and labor, both are not same. Laborer means the person who works, and the effort whatever a laborer is doing for doing any work to earn income, that will be called labor. So labor is mobile, that means he can move from one place to another place. Labor is active factor of production. Labor employ means labor do or work itself. Then labor is perishable. Land is not perishable. Perishable means if one laborer is not doing that one day his work, his labor will be he will not able to use that labor next day. So that's why it is called perishable. Then next is capital. Capital's main thing is that difference between land and capital is that it is land was free gift of nature, but capital is man-made. So the resources, productive resources which are man-made, and which are being used in production. So capital main definition, it is produced and means of production. So produce means man is making this one and it is being used in the production. And capital can be mobile. And fourth one is entrepreneur. So entrepreneur means the person who organizes all these factors of production and carry this work, that is production, and he has to bear risk of the all the production, whatever the risk factor he has to bear. Now he has to, whatever after producing goods then selling in the market, whatever sale proceeds he will get, he has to distribute among this land as rent, he has to give rent, then laborer he needed to give wage, and if he is employing capital, then he, or that is if he is taking any he is doing any investment, that means he has to borrow money from here, he has to give interest, and after giving all the things, whatever the residue part, that will be his profit. So entrepreneur earn profit. So entrepreneur is the person who organizes all these things to produce goods and services, and he earns only profit. So here all the factors will have positive income, but entrepreneur's income may be positive, may be negative, or maybe zero also. That means if any loss will be there, then his income will be negative, and if he will earn more, whatever the cost is there, more than that if he is earning, that will be positive, and if it will be equal, then it will be zero also. So now we will discuss characteristics of all these factors of production. So whatever the production characteristics I told about all these things, that only are written that there is a cooperation among the factors of production. So all the factors of production need to be cooperated by entrepreneur to make any production. Without cooperation, no things can be produced. Then factors of production can be combined in different ways. It is meaning that suppose a handloom industry is there, so in that case labor will be needed more and capital will be needed less. But if it is a power loom, then more capital will be needed and labor will be needed less. So depending upon the structure of the production, that what type of production, different ratio factors can be engaged. That is, the combination is different factor services contribute production. All these factors, their services only contributes in production. That means lands, whatever the characteristics is there, that is used in production. Then labor, if he will be skilled and efficient, that will be used in production. Capital will be used in the production. So it is their contribution is there in the production. Then number 4 is factor of production have physical existence. That means land is there, we can touch. Then labor service, labor is man, and entrepreneur is man who contribute in the production. Then capital we can touch and see, then it can be used in production. Then demand for factors of production is derived demand. It is an important characteristic. The meaning of derived demand is that when something is demanded for direct consumption, that is called direct demand. Like suppose I am hungry and I am having a food, or if I am using a car for my own use, then it will be called direct demand. But that same car, if I use as cab, then that will be called derived demand. So in case of production, all the factors are being used to produce any other good. That's why it is called, that means the thing or the good that will be used in production of other commodity, that will be called derived demand. And in that case all the factors demand will be derived demand. And last one is factors of production differ in their degree of mobility. As I've explained that land is fixed, land cannot be moved from one place to another, labor can be moved, capital can be moved. So in this way their mobility, degree of mobility is different. That is the characteristics of the different factors of production. So today up to this much. Thank you.